All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Creative Coaches. My name is Dan Roeder. I am the Chief Academic Officer of the David Z Foundation. We transform lives through the magic of music. Joined here by my co-host.
Donna Guerin, founder of Global Lighthouse Studios. We connect teachers and students around the world through the lens of music and the arts. And our special guest for today is.
I'm Vladimir Bernov. Mr. Vladimir, I teach kids to build robots. I'm on a mission to teach 10 million kids to build robots.
That sounds like just like a tiny mission, right? Tiny goal? No. That's huge. That's amazing.
Stretch goal.
It's yes, yeah. I love it. Well, I've been having the great pleasure of number one, sharing kind of a creative birthday with you of a couple like life-changing initiatives. And I did a 30-day singing challenge, and you did. Tell us a little bit about your 100-day challenge that you are now still in the middle of. Another small goal, right? Just tiny.
If you think about it, it's like a semester of school, so it ain't that crazy. But mid-October, I challenged myself, and I challenged the people around us to give it 100% for 100 days, because we talk about giving it our all. We talk about once in a lifetime, this and that. Well, what if you actually did the most that you could, 100% for 100 days? And it's day 40. I'm seeing what that could do. What can a person do when you really actually give it everything you got, where at the end of it, you literally say, I couldn't do more. That's what the point of this is. And we're 40 days in. 40 days in.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, it actually, I think soon after you started, I had listened to the song Ripple from this Christmas movie. It's, I forgot what it's called now, blanked on it. But it's a song, Ripple, that Will Ferrell sings, and Spirited is the movie. And he's talking about all the ripples that we start, do you want to be a ripple? Do you want to be a ripple? And there's this one line that says, you still won't make a dent giving 99%, so you got to give it your all. And I always think of you when I hear that song, because you don't leave anything in the tank. That's what trainers say when they're teaching weightlifting, like time under tension, that whole thing. Where you are just living in a way. Now this is your mindset. This is your norm. Is giving it your all. So, what does that feel like? Like, just talk about what changes have you noticed within yourself, jumping into this challenge and just giving it truly 100.
I think it's going to sound weird, but I relate with people around me less and less. Because I find that I very rarely run into somebody on a daily basis who is not trying to take several hours of the day to do nothing intentionally. And I like this feeling, but I also find that that's the downside is there are not many people that I can truly relate with. That's the number one thing.
Right. No, that makes sense. I want to pass the mic to Donna. What are you curious about, Donna, with this 100 for 100?
Well, I'm just curious about everything that you're doing. For people that don't know about you and your robots and what you're doing and creating, I'd love for you to share with our audience just more about what it is that you're doing.
I was running an e-commerce business in, let's say, fall of last year, and I told my wife, when we succeed with this startup, I'm going to teach kids to build robots, because that's what I really want to do. And so I have a son, he's 5 years old, and his school called me in January and said, hey, would you like to teach a robotics class? Very randomly. And I went in and I taught 15 kids, and they loved it, and there's the business side to it. And then it kind of, I was like, well, this is the thing I actually was talking about doing the whole time. And so literally within a few weeks, the e-commerce business was gone. I didn't care a whole lot about that. And I pursued this. And so we went into more schools. We taught more kids. We're taking it online now. And I guess October 12th, we celebrated teaching 1,000 kids to build robots. And we had this big t-shirt-a-thon where we gave away 100 t-shirts. And I made them on the spot. It was like a 12-hour stream.
That's
And
so cool.
yeah, yeah. And then after that, we got into this initiative where, although a lot of what we talk about is robots, that's the tool of the day. What we really teach is self confidence,
Mm,
imagination, grit, creativity. Those things are far more important in the long run. And we teach kids under 10. We have them for a
right.
short period of time. So what they do after is far more important. And that's kind of the goal, is to leave them with that desire to go get it.
I love
Yeah, but
that.
that's. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Donna. I'm
Oh
actually
no, I
making
was
a little QR code for Robot School because I want
Yeah,
folks to
I could
know.
tell you were doing something there in the background. I
Yeah,
wasn't quite sure what you were doing, but yes. But yeah, I mean, I think those skills are very important to teach, as well as of course, the robotics piece of it. But I think that those skills, those soft skills as they call them, are so important for students to learn at an early age, so they can then apply that in life, or when they go on to university, or if they go to the workforce, or whatever they do after high school. Those skills are more than important. And creativity is something that people use all day long, every day. So is collaboration. All of those types of skills are so important. So I think that that's great that you're teaching that to students at such a young age.
yeah. Well, and what I wanted to add with that too, here, let me get this QR code up. My Robot School uh, is that you and I connected on this earlier, Vladimir. There's so many shifts that need to happen in education, and you nailed just like one of the biggest ones is what is this for? Because it can be really easy to get myopic, whether we're a teacher, a parent, a student, about lesson plans and all the deliverables of a classroom that have been in the norm since the early 1800s. you know, hasn't had a big shakeup in a long time, and except for adding technology. And so I very often talk about the age of spell check, where a lot of teachers, my high school teachers, said like, oh my gosh, these kids are never going to learn how to spell. They have this thing called spell check. It does it for them. And then when I was teaching high school, all my colleagues said, oh my gosh, these kids are never going to learn how to spell. They won't use spell check. I mean, it spells things for them. So there's this shift that happens over time when things are introduced, and then they're employed. But we have to be focusing on the humans in the room, and that's what the big problem is. The big thing that I think it's starting to be talked about a lot more, but is just relating with students. And there's so many. At least I'm talking about in the U.S. I know you're in Canada. And I know a lot of Canadian teachers, and I know we share a lot of the same issues with classroom management and classroom structure in today's teaching world. But if we can't see those humans in the room, especially like when we're introducing them to these this technology that a lot of teachers might not even understand, but that doesn't mean we don't have them in our classroom. We have to have them because this is their tools. This is their, these are their typewriters. These are their Apple IIGSs. These are their iMacs. These are their Apple G4s, their PCs. So if the biggest need in the 21st century workforce for digital natives is going to be creative problem solving, because we're putting a lot of systems together in a lot of different levels. And so one of the things I love about this conversation that continually comes up about technology, robots, AI, the whole kit and caboodle, is that first we have to build that awareness. With anything, we start with awareness. So let me put up this little QR code. It's done cooking. I don't want to cover you up though, Vladimir, so there, we'll
It's
feature
okay.
it.
Do what you gotta
Here we
do.
go. But it is myrobotschool.com. So you just put a .com there next to that. But yeah, you're doing some amazing things. And I've loved the sparks of ideas we've had and how we can tie the musicality that we're doing and the arts and everything together with robotics. So I think we're planning to do that a little bit right after this. We're going to do like a double header. And we're going to do like a little makerspace right after this.
Mhm.
So yeah. But we usually keep this show fairly short. I guess like that. Those are my closing thoughts for this. You know, just that we all need to see the humans in the room. We all need to be able to adapt and change our not only our actions but our expectations. Whether they have to be higher or just more open, we have to build awareness. So. Over to you, Donna, and then we'll let Vladimir close us off.
Yeah, I just wanted to see. I know you're doing the makerspace here shortly, but for those of us who maybe won't be able to join, if you could just show us if you have one of the examples of one of the robots right there in your studio. We'd love to see what one might look like, just so that people out in the audience have a visual of what it might look like. And how long does it take to build that with, say, for example, a 5-year-old, just to get an idea of the length of time?
Yeah, so with 5-year-olds, a lot of the stuff that we teach them, I was taught in grade 6. So when I was 12, 13, or further. And so our goal is to get them to understand that the difference between a car and a box on wheels isn't that big. And if they can put a box on some wheels and make it roll, they can build a car. So as an example, let me see if I can quickly pull something out here. I'm sure I have something here. So we do 3D design. So they literally design stuff. They 3D print it. Just trying to find on this. I think I have a couple of kits here. Let me just pull a kit out. But as I look for it, there's two things that we talked about. One is the soft skills. I don't think looking at them as soft skills is correct, because they're grit is not. There's nothing soft about grit.
That's a T-shirt right there, Vladimir. There's nothing soft about grit.
Yeah, like we look at these skills as if they're secondary, as if the numb knowledge that we have is the skill, and then the other stuff is this like ethereal BS. It's actually the other way around. I actually think those skills are the hard skills, and the knowledge is the soft skills, because that goes day to day depending on what the scientist of the day researched based on our scientific knowledge of today, which will evolve tomorrow. But a strong heart and a willingness to go forward will never change. That's hard. And the other side is spell check. The printing press made us worse at calligraphy, but much better at writing. The calculator made us worse at arithmetic, but better at math. And spell check has its role there too. AI has its role there too. It'll make us worse at something, but better at something else.
Yeah.
It's how you use the tools. Ultimately, like, what is our goal as humanity? This is a much larger conversation. This is an example of a kit. There are pictures of robots on here. I'm just trying to find. I have a massive pile of stuff, and I'm trying to find something. Okay, here's an example. Very simple thing. This thing connects, and it has two arms. So we can put two flags in here, right? And then they'll be waving back and forth. That's something that we did for the July break with Canada Day, and in July 4th we had a U.S. flag, and we had this. It really starts with robots that walk, hop, and roll, and I'm just trying to. I don't. They're all inside the boxes, and I don't want to put them together on the spot.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
But basically, a small thing that can move across a room. Then we have something with a couple motors where it can move, but it can also spin and drop. Then we add the next step, lights and sounds. Then we make it remote control, and then we give you the ability to program it. So you'll have an Arduino chip, which is, or like an ESP32. It depends on what we're working with on the given day. So something like this, believe it or not, 12-year-old children, we got programming microchips like this. Let's see if I can zoom in on this in 2 seconds. So it goes all the way up. So the idea of this is that the kids become interested. They go home, they make a corner, they put a light there, and then they sit at the table and start working, because then we're not there. We're there with them for an hour a week.
Right. No, exactly.
That's the box that you just saw. Yeah, that's exactly it.
And then you can just get things right on this website.
Yeah.
There we go, the T-shirts.
Yeah, we have one-of-a-kind T-shirts. Each of those is actually literally one of a kind. They might be sold out by now, so I don't know. But is it? No, they might, in any case, yeah. So that's myrobotschool.com is where you can go. You can start learning at home. And if you have a school in the Toronto area, give me a call. I can set up an after-school program. Thank you for having me. This has been
absolutely awesome. Thank you for being here. And then I guess I don't think you actually talked about it here, but this is a big important capstone of this initiative. That on day 100, what is your activity?
Well, this is actually how the next 60 days look since we're on day 40 of 100. Between now and Christmas, we are going hard and we're working. Christmas Day until December 31st, we are making a 100-foot sticker. I'm renting out a sports facility. The sticker is bigger than a basketball court. So it's going to take us like 7 days to build. It's going to be a 7-day continuous live stream, putting your faces on it live, drones flying around. It's going to be crazy. Then
drones?
What? Well, it's a sports facility. So the sticker is 100 feet wide. Again, big, longer than a basketball and an NBA court. So if you imagine how big that is. So we're going to have it's going to be a fun stream. January 1st, we load this thing up into the biggest vehicle that we're going to be able to cross the border, and we start driving on a 21-day trip through the U.S. all the way to Texas. We're going to unroll it, take pictures of, in different cities with this massive sticker and everybody coming together. And when we get to Texas, we put it on the X headquarters and we say, mission accomplished, we did something big. And we use that to say we can do anything.
This is
wow.
I do hope, Vladimir, you're filming a documentary. I mean, you are a documentary, actually. That's awesome. This is incredible. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. I can't even. I mean, when you said it in that first stream, this was your goal from the beginning. It was not something you just like kind of developed as you went. You weren't building this plane as you flew it. You had a very clear goal that is crazy big but achievable, and then you break it into its constituent parts. But the thing that I've loved seeing you do, Vladimir, is gain the volition and the inertia as you go, because you end up having to bring this community with you. You can't do this all your own, is what you've been showing us, and there's this beautiful community. So this is streaming in a lot of different places, but on the X platform, I know you stream exclusively to X, and then you also have a community. How can we help you spread the word about that community?
The community is there for you. I'm going to be giving away the ownership of this community on January 1st to one of our community members, because this movement is about kickstarting your dreams. That's why we give away $100 every day for 100 days. That's why we bring attention to what you're doing, because it's like you said, this only works when we each, I don't want to say push, but when we each when we each bring attention to what it is that we do, and as a group we help each other, right? It's one for all for one. That one is building a better future. And if you're truly about that, if you're honest and have good intentions, then the 100% movement is where you're going to find friends for life.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, truly inspiring. And I know this is a movement that is going to be talked about for this legacy. This is a legacy movement, and I think that's maybe what we can end on, is that we don't go out to build a legacy. We go out to build, But in doing that, and in finding the people that will build with you, oh my goodness, we got Mrs. Pixel here. Yay, look at that. Best of luck in your journey. It's very inspiring. Wag me. What is wag me? Oh wait, I know. When?
I feel I've seen that before.
I have too. I know it's a Web3 ism. Can you decode that for us, Mrs. Pixel? It's gonna bug me otherwise. I should know it. I'm getting into all of this Web3 goodness. So that's been a journey, and just with the How Can I Keep From Singing challenge. Now that's wrapped, I'm glad I have this 100, give 100% for 100 days challenge to keep that momentum going. All right, I got to see what WAGME is. Otherwise, it's gonna,
I feel like you're gonna go down a rabbit hole, just like anything to do with Web3.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's a beautiful rabbit hole, though.
Exactly. But always a rabbit hole.
Yes.
But that's the best places to be. Yeah, I can't find. All right, did Mrs. Pixel say anything?
um,
All
we're
right.
all gonna make it.
Yes,
Ah,
that. Thank you.
I can deal with that.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, you guys heard it here. Probably not first, but you heard it here. We're all gonna make it, and I really have enjoyed this time. Vladimir, let's take 5, and then let's make something. Do we know what we're gonna make? No, but let's do it. Like, that's the gist of the challenge that I've been doing. That has now turned into the It's 7 o'clock somewhere show in partnership with the Pair community, and we just do 7 a.m. karaoke. And this morning we had somebody join us from the Philippines, which was so cool, and he crushed it. So it's when you hold out your hand and just leave it there for a bit, somebody's gonna take it. So yeah, let's all make it together. So we'll see you in about 5, Vladimir. But for now, thank you for joining us for Creative Coaches. Donna, any closing thoughts? I mean, this is like the second version of closing thoughts.
Well, just that everyone have a great weekend, and I guess we'll see you on Monday, or
Yeah,
I'll see you on
Monday.
Monday.
We've got